Hi, I'm Andrea. Thank you so much for joining me for this 30-minute yoga practice. A few things that might be helpful. Today, we really are going to use our chair for something. So I think it would be great for you to have a chair nearby. I'll give you an option to use if you don't have one, or if you just don't feel comfortable using it. But I think it's a good thing to have. A couple of blocks. Grab a couple thick books. Those will work just fine. A folded blanket or towel is a great idea for even more cushioning, or maybe to sit up on something like a bolster, which could be a cushion from your couch. You'll note that I am barefoot, but you don't have to be. Feel free to keep your shoes on if you're more comfortable like that. And though I'm using a yoga mat, you'll be fine if you don't have one. I just would like you to find a place that is not too slippery, maybe carpeted. And then facing me is going to be your best bet. I'm going to do some moving around, and I'll probably talk about the fact that I'm moving around for you to be able to see me best. And then we'll start as we do in our basic pose, in our mountain pose. So feet hip distance, palms face out. Soft bend to your knees and a moment to stop so that we can start. All the twists and turns of the day give way to this moment of pause. Let the arrows of attention turn inward instead of out. 3 moments paying close attention to the rise of your inhale and the fall of your exhale. Couple of sun salutations. Inhale, arms out and up, thumbs to the sky, and then exhale, hinge at your hips and place your hands on your thighs. Inhale, let's pause here a moment, traction your hands on your thighs and feel like you're almost doing a little back bend in your upper back. Exhale, hinge at your hips. Inhale, arms out to the side, thumbs to the sky, a V shape, and then float your arms along your side. Again, like that. Inhale, arms out and up, thumbs to the sky, V shape. Exhale, hinge at your hips and take your hands to your thighs. Inhale, extend your heart forward, and exhale, increase the hinge at your hips. Inhale, arms out and up, thumbs to the sky, V shape, and then stand, palms face out, soft bend to your knees. Twice more like that. Inhale, arms out and up. Exhale, hinge at your hips, hands to your thighs. Inhale, extend your heart like a smile, and then exhale, hinge at your hips. Inhale, arms out and up, thumbs to the sky, and then pause in your mountain last time. Inhale. Exhale, fold. Inhale, heart forward. Exhale, hinge. Inhale, arms out and up, thumbs to the sky, and then pause in your mountain. Step just a little wider than we were. We'll do this slowly and then we'll flow it a little bit. You're going to come up onto your left toes, take your left arm out in front of you, and spin on your left toes with a little bit of bend in your right knee as you reach across your body. Then come back and lower your arm alongside you. Come on your right toes, take your right arm in front of you. Spin on your toes as you reach across your body. Come back and lower the heel down the middle. Other side, so left arm up and over, spin on the left toes, come back to center, take that the other side, so spinning on your right toes, the right arm reaches across, spinning on your left toes, the left arm reaches across, and you can add a little bend and a little flow to it. I just want to make sure that you're coming on your back toes each time. We're using this as a little twist and warm up. We'll do some twisting today, so that's nice that we're warming up our bodies and our twists at the same time. Keep going back and forth. If you need a break, you can always take a break. Let's do about 3 more times each way. It doesn't have to be an exact science. And then pause and heel toe until we find our mountain, our bedrock, our ears over shoulders, over hips, over heels. Next, let's mindfully assemble our props for our next bit. Take your chair so that its seat is right out in front of you, and then take your 2 blocks or books and place them off the side of your mat so they're not right underfoot. Some days you'll want to use the chair, some days you'll want to use the blocks. It's nice to have them both available just in case. And then facing your chair and your short edge of your mat, turn your palms away from each other. Let your feet be hip distance. Chair pose, thumbs to the sky, a V shape, and we shift our weight back into our heels. And then straighten your legs. We'll do that 2 more times dynamically. Bend your knees, chair pose, thumbs to the sky. Then straighten your legs and float your arms along your side. 1 more time, chair pose, thumbs to the sky. Stand and float your arms along your side, adding on. Bend your knees for a chair. Exhale, hinge at your hips and hands to your thighs. Inhale, extend your heart forward, and decide if you want to use the seat of your chair or bring your blocks onto your mat, although not underfoot. Stand on your right leg, shoot your left leg back, and we're in a lunge shape. Get solid here, right hip back and left hip forward. Come upright, thumbs to the sky. Now there's a number of things that might feel better to you. Some of you might prefer to stay with your hands on your blocks. Some of you might prefer to take your hands to your blocks and gently place your back knee down on your mat. So that's always allowed. Those are always options. Maybe arms reach a little higher, a V shape, and it could be if you're pitched forward or it feels tight in your back, that a little bend in your back knee as we're upright is a good idea. We'll hold it for a moment and breathe. And we'll notice where we are in space because, as promised, there will be twists and turns along the way, and I want us to know what our foundation is in this pose. 2 moments here. Hands return to your blocks. If you put the knee down, just lift it off the ground so we can step our left foot hip distance from our right. Hands to thighs, inhale your heart forward. Exhale, hinge at your hips, and then chair pose. Bend your knees, thumbs to the sky, a V shape, stand it up, and pause in your mountain. Chair pose, thumbs to the sky, V shape. That's our inhale. Exhale, hinge at your hips and hands to your thighs. Inhale, extend your heart forward, and then hands to your chair or your blocks, and your right foot steps back. Now remember, it's kind of fun. It's sort of empowering to find our agency in our own practice, so staying here is an option that you might decide to express. Carefully lowering the back knee down is another option. Coming upright, thumbs to the sky, arms out to the side is yet another. And if a finesse of bending your back knee prevents you from feeling like you're pitching forward or there's tightness in your low back, that's where you go with it. Your left hip is dialing back and your right hip is dialing forward, though that's not forced, it's just something suggested. And then your V shape might come up a little bit higher unless it feels like you're congesting your shoulders into your ears. Then we stay with it, really feeling into this shape. Stamping into our left heel, that's true even for our friends that have the back knee down or are still with hands on blocks or chairs. 2 more moments. Hands to blocks or chairs, back knee off your mat if that applies, right foot hip distance from left, hands to your thighs, inhale, heart lifts, exhale, hinge at your hips, chair pose, thumbs to the sky, and then stand and pause in your mountain. Chair pose, inhale. Now this time, hands in a prayer in front of your heart. Keep your knees bent and turn to your right. We're upright and we're turning to the right in our chair pose. Do your best to keep your knees pointing forward and your weight in your heels. It doesn't need to be a dramatic twist. If it feels better to you to extend thumbs to the sky with your arms wide here, that's also a great way to do this. 2 moments. Then back to chair, arms to the sky, hands onto your thighs. Inhale your heart forward. Exhale, hinge at your hips, hands to your chair or your blocks. Shoot your left leg back. You can lower the knee if you'd like. You can stay here and keep your left hand on your block and right thumb to the sky for a twist. Or you might come upright, thumbs to the sky, hands into a prayer, turn to your right. So you can stay upright like we did in our chair. You can take the arms wide out to the side as we're twisting here. You might want that little bit of bend in your back knee. Hang with it and breathe. 3 moments here. Unwind, thumbs to the sky, hands to your blocks or onto your chair. Step your left foot hip distance from your right. Bring your hands to your thighs. Inhale, lift your heart, and exhale, hinge at your hips. Chair pose, thumbs to the sky. Stand and pause and digest in your mountain. Chair pose, thumbs to the sky. Hands in a prayer, and this time in our chair, we turn to our left. Try to keep your knees pointing forward as best you can, so that means it's not going to be a big giant twist. That's fine. Most of the twists and turns in life are pretty subtle to begin with, and then we look back and realize that they were kind of bigger than we thought. You can take your arms out to the side, thumbs to the sky, and we pause here and breathe. And the thing that's important is that I want to make sure that you are in fact breathing the whole time. 2 moments. We have a visitor. And then down the middle for chair pose, thumbs to the sky, hands to your thighs. Inhale, lift your heart. Exhale, hinge at your hips, but keep your head higher than your hips. Hands come either to your chair or onto your blocks. Step your right foot back this time. Remember that you have options. You can bring your knee down. You can stay here with your right hand on your block and take your left thumb to the sky for a twist. Or come upright, thumbs to the sky, maybe adding that bend in the back knee too. Hands in a prayer, let's twist to the left. And you can keep your hands in a prayer or take your arms out to the side wide with your thumbs to the sky. Make sure you're breathing. None of this is force, all of it is suggestion. Probably a good time to think of stamping into that left heel, lifting your low belly, growing tall as we twist. 2 more moments here. Oh, hi, Tip. If you don't know her yet, this is Tippy. And then unwind, thumbs to the sky. Bring your hands to your blocks or to your chair. Firm through your belly. Step your right foot hip distance from your left. And then thumbs to the sky for our chair pose. Stand it up. And pause. And fully inhabit your mountain. This is the part where I think using your chair might be a very good idea. 2 things. One is let's get our blocks out of the way. So again, mindful working area, super important. So blocks out of the way. If you don't have a chair, or if what I'm suggesting doesn't work for you, you can simply bring your body or bring yourself onto your right toes and hug the outer left hip in. So we don't want to be sitting into that hip. My suggestion is, and you can use your hand on the chair too, is to step your right foot on the seat of your chair. So you want something solid enough that you don't feel like, this might not be a good idea. Hug your outer left hip in. Take your arms wide out to the side, just like we've done before. Now make a prayer in front of your heart and turn to your right. So we did this in the previous 2 poses. You do want to hug that left hip in. You could take your arms wide once again, thumbs to the sky, or if you like the prayer, that's great. Maybe you lift your right foot off of your chair a little bit to play with it. Remember, you can have your right toes on the ground and do the same twist, and it's perfect. Stay for just a few moments here. Every inhale, grow tall like we're in our mountain. Every exhale, it's a twist, but it's something called a leverless twist, which just means we're not leveraged. We're not using our elbow to do the twisting. We're using our muscles in our side waist to do the twisting. That's good stuff. They're both fine, but this is great to use these obliques. Now, let's take our prayer and unwind, and then hands on your hips. Maybe a hand on the chair for an assist. Step your right foot hip distance from your left. Stand in your mountain with a new appreciation for full real estate on the ground. And then just pause. Get really, truly grounded for our second side of balance and twist. Now remember, you can just come up onto your left toes and do it that way. Or hands on your hips or on your chair and step your left foot atop the seat. Just make sure nothing's too wiggly wobbly. Arms out to the side, thumbs to the sky. Make a prayer in front of your heart and then turn to your left. Try to keep that outer right hip hugging in. Every inhale, grow tall, and every exhale is just a little bit more twist. If you like the arms extended, thumbs to the sky, and you reach out to the side, you can always stay with the prayer instead. We linger in it for a little while. Inhaling tall, exhaling, twisting. Last few moments here. Slowly return to the prayer, unwind towards your chair, and then you can have your hands on your chair or hands on your hips. Step left foot hip distance from right, and then just return to that full real estate of our mountain on the ground and pause for a sec. Situate your blocks to either side once again if you brush them off to the side as I did mine. I just wanted them as far out of my balancing way as possible, but now I can return them here for our next thing. Also good to have what you might want to pad your knee with. Inhale, chair pose, arms to the sky, thumbs to the sky, hands to your thighs, and we exhale and fold. Inhale, heart forward. Hands to your chair or onto your two blocks. Step your right foot back and lower your knee. Your left foot steps back and lower your knee. So stepping your left foot back, you might want to pad that knee with something great. Come upright, thumbs to the sky, hands in a prayer. Now tip a little forward and take your left elbow on the outside of your right thigh. Remember I said a moment ago, this is a leverless twist. This is a leveraged twist. You have a little bit of leverage with your left elbow on the outside of your right thigh. Now I don't want you to round and crumble. I want you to remember those muscles that I said it was great we were working, so that when we inhale, we grow tall. And when we exhale, we're using those muscles in combination with just a tiny little suggestion from our left elbow. We'll take a few moments of twist here. If it's too much on your back knee, put a little padding underneath. Now slowly unwind. Take your hands to your blocks or to the seat of your chair. Straighten your front leg. So you probably have to slide your right hip forward. Remember that we want to stay tall in our spine. It may mean readjusting your chair to come a little closer to you, so I'm going to leave it to you to be the professional chair mover that you are. Now curling your toes back. Keep your left hand either on your block or on the seat of your chair. Try to keep your right hip back, and then right thumb to the sky, and we twist. This is pretty tricky right here. You could come upright, left thumb to the sky, and twist it here. Now we don't have leverage, and it's a really odd place to balance, isn't it? Well, the twists and turns of life can be very odd places to find balance too, so we'll practice it here. Return your left hand to your block if you came upright. Return your right hand to your block or chair base, and then bend your right knee. Step your left foot forward to meet your right hip distance, hands to your thighs. Inhale. Exhale, hinge at your hips. chair pose, bending our knees and thumbs to the sky, stand. Float your arms along your side. Second and last side, bend your knees, chair pose. Exhale, hinge at your hips and hands to your thighs. Inhale your heart forward and take your hands to your chair or to your blocks. Step your right foot back. This time I actually mean right foot. Lower your back knee to your padding or to your mat. Come upright, thumbs to the sky, hands in a prayer. This is where we leverage it a bit, but we're conscientious as we twist and take our right elbow to the outside of our left thigh. And when you inhale, grow tall, like a little dusting of back bend. And when you exhale, it's a nudge, an encouragement towards the twist, but nothing is forced. And we will breathe here for a few moments. Slowly come upright, unwind. You can take your arms out to the side if it feels sort of nice to do that. Hands on your blocks or to the seat of your chair. Straighten your front leg. It means you're going to have to scooch your left heel forward and find a hinge at your hips. There'll be a stretch in your hamstring that you notice maybe pretty early on. Right hand can stay on your block and left arm up to the sky, or maybe your right hand is on your chair base. You can move your chair around so that it serves you here. If you want the additional challenge of balance, come upright, right thumb to the sky, both thumbs to the sky. It's wobbly business over here for me, maybe for you too. A few moments. Right hand on your block, left arm to the sky if you came upright. Left hand to your block, or you can always interpret that as to your chair. We'll exit differently, so bend your left knee and then step left knee next to right knee. Let's take care of our props. Let them go off to the side. You may want to use your blocks for the next bit, so keep those pretty close, but let's move our chair out of the way, and I move that especially so you can see me. Come seated. You might want to sit on your cushion. You might want to sit on your folded blanket. You might even sit on a block. Extend your legs out in front of you. Janu Shirshasana, it's called. That's a fancy Sanskrit name. It's like a seated tree pose. Right foot into your left inner thigh, or into your left shin or left inner thigh. Curl your toes back towards you. I like to do a couple of things. Sometimes put my block on the outside of my right thigh so that it feels supported. And then we will take a bit of a fold potentially, but that's not a rounding fold. So let's get really tall in the saddle. Take our hands. You could even move your seat, your chair over, I'll actually show you. You could even move it so that your chair is out in front of you and you've got your leg underneath it and you're using your hands on your chair. So I realize I'm doing something different with my leg just to show you right now, but you could slide that into the mix if it feels like the best bet. Just occurred to me that that's actually not a bad way to do that. So curling your left toes back, taking either your hands onto your chair like that or your blocks out in front of you. Let's place our hands on our blocks and get tall. And let's allow that to be really interesting to us, not trying to force our face and our leg close to each other. Once you've got everything figured out, where it feels like there's a hamstring stretch in your left leg and a hip stretch in your right leg, and not a whole bunch of rounding, I'm going to get quiet. And we're just going to listen to the sensations. And one of those sensations is the rise and fall of our breath. It's dancing with the feedback that you're getting from the pose. You can close your eyes here. A full minute of silence. walk your hands in. If you're using a chair, be careful because there might be some things underneath there that you just want to be aware of. Hold your right thigh and help your right knee to the sky. Slide your right leg long and place your left foot into that tree pose. Curl your right toes back. You may need to adjust your chair or take your blocks with you. Let's hinge at our hip. Walk it out. See what it's about. A minute of silence on this side. Start to walk yourself in. Be aware that you may have a chair, right? And help it along. Take your left hand onto your left thigh and draw that knee to the sky, and then just waggle both legs out in front. Move your chair. Make sure you're not, you don't have that too much in your way. Couple choices. Maybe you prefer to sit in meditation to end your practice, or just swing yourself around to lie down on your back. And we will take our final Shavasana meditation, your choice. It's our rest and digest. Close, maybe cover your eyes. Fall into the floor or dive into your seated meditation. Always, I encourage you to stay here as long as you'd like. If you're ready to come back, wiggle your fingers and toes, reach your arms and legs away from each other, collect your knees into your chest, roll to either side, and bring yourself up to any kind of a comfortable seat. You could even sit on your cushion, place your palms up or down, and just pause for a second. When the inevitable twists and turns of life happen, you are ready, thanks to your yoga practice. I'm Andrea. Thank you so much for practicing with me today.